You can go out to the skate park and I'll bet you can find 5 to 6 of those individuals that look like normal teenage kids having fun, but in reality they're homeless and don't know where they're going to sleep the next night, where they're going to get their next meal, or if they're going to live through the night.
I was 14, I'm pretty sure, and my mom was with this guy who was super abusive to both her and all of her kids. And so I had tried to kill myself. And at the hospital, I told the nurses what was going on. And my mom made it very clear that if I testified, I couldn't live in her home. She essentially chose him over me. So then I just kind of went downtown and found the homeless people down there, and they took me in and treated me better than my mom was at the time and totally showed me the ropes. For a lot of my friends, it was just like countdown till you're 18. That was like the big goal in mind, was once you're 18, you can apply for housing programs, you can apply for loans or whatever else you might need. You can get into the shelters who will maybe help you get a house.
It's tough. There's limited options for young people ages 12 to 17. If they're not safe at home or can't be at home for a variety of reasons, they can't sign a lease. They can't, go get a place.
Family reunification is big and is important, but it isn't viable in all situations. So I kind of fell through the cracks in that sense.
How many different places have you lived in?
Like houses?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I can probably count 14, 15, 16, 17, 17. My mom, when she first had me, there was a lot of emotional and physical damage towards her. Her having me, she's like, I can't take care of her right now. She needs to be somewhere where she's safe and she's gonna be well taken care of. Honestly, yeah, I just got bounced around from house to house. It was just normal. It was really normal for me to not feel accepted or not feel loved. I went through a lot of abuse. I didn't realize it was abuse until I got older. I was 11, 12. And at the time, I felt old.
A kid experiencing homelessness is probably one of the more responsible human beings on the planet, because at such a young age, you're taking on the weight of the world and you're on your own and you're managing to maybe go to school or have a job while also worrying about how you haven't eaten in so long. So I go out into communities and hand out socks and snacks and whatever else people experiencing homelessness might need, particularly youth. But yeah, socks are always important. That's why I have the shoes too, because I remember there was 4 months when I was homeless and I didn't have a good pair of shoes. I was wearing Crocs in the middle of winter, because they can honestly save a life to have good shoes. When I was a kid on the streets, seeing an outreach worker was like seeing Santa, because sometimes that granola bar they hand you is the first time you've eaten in a week, or that pair of socks that they hand you is relief for your feet because you've been wearing the same socks for a month or more. I don't think I had a hot meal probably the first couple of years I was homeless. The goal essentially is just to make just even that one day better for them.
We, talk with providers from other states and other areas. They'll just casually refer to resources that we're like, oh, that must be nice. For the size of New Mexico, we currently only have 12 shelter providers that work with unaccompanied youth.
The cops picked me up because there was a fight and I was nearby it. They were like, well, we don't have any beds at the youth shelter right now, so I guess you're going to have to take her to Albuquerque. And they took me to the Albuquerque youth hospital. So I was there for about 2 weeks. And then it came time for somebody to pick me up, and I had nobody to pick me up. So then I was there for another 2 weeks. And then they released me to a shelter in Albuquerque. And I knew nobody in Albuquerque, and the shelter was kind of terrifying for me because I had come so used to my little group, my little family, and being in downtown Santa Fe. I never left downtown Santa Fe when I was homeless. That was my safety zone. So that was super rough, and I ended up having to hitchhike back to Santa Fe.
Just more beds, because we end up with a lot of these programs that our youth end up on waiting lists and things of that nature to receive the services or the housings, and it's because we don't have the beds available for them. We're not necessarily a shelter, it's a program. So all of our youth that come into this program can stay in this program up to 24 straight months. We have 2 years to hone that individual skills to help them be successful. Most of the youth that come in here, they're just not used to this type of accommodation. They're used to living out of a trash bag, and those kids will fight you over that trash bag because their entire life, their whole existence and being is in that trash bag. When they come to us, they can feel secure and in their own space, which makes the transition a lot better for them too, because a lot of them have never had that, their own space. Where they can just go be with themselves and feel safe and secure about their belongings as well as their own well-being.
And so we got woken up and we didn't get a chance to pack anything. We just left and hoped for the best. And when we came back, our tents were slashed with a knife. And a lot of our belongings were stomped into the ground and taken. So we had to completely start from scratch then. It's cold outside right now. That's how I'm going to stay warm tonight, and you have no consideration for that. I feel more grateful for things too because of that back experience. When I do get gifts, I cry every single time somebody gives me a gift. So when I was a teenager, that wasn't happening.
All of our young people are just responding to their circumstances. We're not working with bad kids. We're working with kids that don't have a place to call home, and they don't know where they're going to be in 3 weeks. And that's extremely stressful for anyone, and especially when you're a teenager.
You go through so much at such a young age, and you just keep moving and moving and moving. You don't have time to settle down. You just keep having these negative thoughts or negative emotions. Darkness just follow you around when you don't have the time to unpack it. You don't have time to unpack your baggage and try to heal from all of that.
Does anybody want chocolate bars or Reese's? Reese's? You never know what's going on. They could be fleeing abuse like I was. They could be totally out of their element. This could be their first night on the street and they're terrified. The kid's just running away. There's a reason that they're running away. It might not be that their parents are kicking them out, but they don't feel comfortable at home for some reason. And if they're more comfortable outside than in their house, there's something that needs to be looked at there. And my mom we've come leaps and bounds from where I was when I was 14. She left that guy, she got sober. So now me and her have a great adult relationship. And so she was willing to have me and my daughter move in with her. And I'm waiting on my new place to be ready. They're just renovating it.
Pain of life and the triumph of the human spirit. Yes, I'm already sold. I'm reading this.
In her case, I've watched a lot of personal growth, mentally especially.
My mental health and stability has gotten so much better.
Here we are a year and a half later as a 18-year-old about to turn 19-year-old individual that has some direction, control over her life, goals.
So it's just trying to make me more stable, more emotionally stable, more mentally stable, and just financially stable, and housing stable and stuff like that, working towards more of those goals. And just because I'm stagnant here now doesn't mean that it's going to be stagnant in the future.
I've watched a lot of maturity, but that all is a direct result of programs like this here. So I think enacting more programs or finding the funding through legislature to enact more of these programs would help and go a long way. Because if we don't, these young adults end up becoming older adults in the same predicament.